Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's I, Stephen, your Duke of Disputation, and welcome back to another episode of the Duke's Dive. This week, we'll be covering the October 23rd edition of NXT. But first of all, I just want to say that we just came off of an incredible weekend here at Liberty Arena. Northern Tier came up here and presented us with Liberty Rising. It was an awesome show. We had lots of new faces. We had lots of new fans. We had quite a turnout. We had a great show. Some of the matches I'd like to talk to you right now about are, number one, my match of the night. Jason Furious versus Joey P. Oh my god, go to Facebook.com and search up Elbow to the Jaw Productions. Our incredible video producer David Keller for Elbow to the Jaw Productions put the entire show up within less than 2 days. He has all the matches. He has the whole show. If you wish to watch the whole show, you can watch that whole show. If you wish to watch just matches, you can watch just matches. They're pretty much all over social media at this point. I know Jason Furious has shared his match. Joey P has shared his match. There's matches on my page, The Duke of Disputation. There's matches in the Smart Mark Ally discussion group. It's everywhere. So like I said, that was my favorite match of the night. I've never seen anybody get hit that hard with a kendo stick, and Furious just kept coming back and coming back and coming back and getting hit with the stick, and then Joe powerbombed him off of the ring apron onto a table, and then he freaking put him through. He got speared through a door. I mean, not a door, excuse me, a table. He got DDT'd through a table there. Speared through a table. There was a Megatron, a television set in there that got completely destroyed. This is what happens when you put Joey P and Furious in a no-holds-barred, no disqualification match. This is the ridiculousness. It was crazy. That was my favorite match of the night. Not to be outshined, however, by LDC versus Joe O'Connor, which seen LDC get busted wide open. They had a guitar, they had everything in that match. Freaky Doyle was in that match trying to get the numbers against EV2, but in the long run, even having his partner YG Bull come out, who also impressed me that night against HC Loke, which was a fantastic match. Yeah, I mean, you had O'Connor out there, you had you had Miss Emily Doyle, you had YG Bull out there, but still the numbers were in the favor of EV2. You know, in Cortland, we seen a little bit of dissension amongst the ranks between EV2 with LDC and Jim Holbert. He was up against Anarchy, and he told those guys at EV2, stay off of my case, stay out of this. This is my match. I want to do this on my own accord. Please, guys, stay away from this match. But they could not listen. I don't know whether it was just blind, loyalty, or whether it was just the fact that, they didn't want their boy to lose, or maybe they just wanted some of the spotlight for themselves. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but even though he told EV2 to stay out of the way, they came out, they stuck their nose in the business, and what happened? Chicanery. Foolishness. I think LDC's a smart man. When he tells you stay out of their way, he's got a reason for saying that, but I digress. These issues that EV2 were seeing last show at the Glen Post Memorial Show were completely dissolved at Williamsport. There was no problems with EV2. As a matter of fact, the ranks grow stronger for EV2. Can you believe this? So, Manic and Lestat walk out. Obviously, members of Dishonor. So I'm thinking here, well, what's Joey P going to do? Is he going to bring Dishonor to Northern Tier and face EV2 as the head faction of Northern Tier Wrestling? No, he didn't. There was a broker of peace between EV2 and Dishonor. Yeah, I can't believe it. Both of the forces are now together. The mega powers have combined. EV2 is now one with Dishonor. Dishonor is now one with EV2. And everybody on that locker room has just been put on notice. Now, in the past, I've not always been for EV2. I don't like the way they do business sometimes. The whole situation with Anarchy could have been handled a little bit better. Of course, I didn't see him there. Obviously, in some health problems due to the last no DQ match, of course, in Cortland against LDC for the 607 title. And, like I said, that title might not have come to LDC in the most professional or the most pleasant of ways, but after defending that in Cortland, no disqualifications against Anarchy, and retaining that title then bringing it to the 570 and defending it against Joe O'Connor in a bloodbath, there's absolutely no question who that belt belongs to, and that's LDC. Like I said, also, we had a fantastic main event. We had Barry Horowitz accompanying Aaron Nasty to the ring. We had Aaron Nasty, we had Rob Cook, we had Big Papa Chill, and we had the Patriot going up against EV2. Now, the mystery man, who could it have been? Of course, as I told you earlier, Dishonor and EV2 are one, so the mystery man was Lestat, who is getting very stacked, I must add. He's very much, taking a part of this Dishonor group very seriously. He's hitting the gym. He has a very strict gym regimen. Excuse me. He is bulking up, ladies and gentlemen. But, like I said, that kind of covers the whole show. I didn't want to cover every single match, but I just wanted to let you guys know it was an awesome event. You can catch that online. You can go on the Northern Tier Wrestling Facebook page, or you can go to Elbow to the Jaw Productions and watch every match. You can watch the whole show. You can do whatever you want if you missed it. Or if you did watch it, you can watch it again. But I digress. Great show. Presented to us by Northern Tier Wrestling. Liberty Rising was a success. I had a great time doing commentary with my man Camp and my man the Eagle. We brought you the action every step of the way. It was Camp, Eagle, and the Duke. And I just hope we did you guys proud, and hope you enjoy our commentary. We're just a couple knuckleheads who have very little to no experience doing this, and I thank Northern Tier Wrestling and the powers that be there for giving us the opportunity to do that. And I hope to see you guys back in Williamsport very soon. And we will support you in your next endeavor here for the Liberty Arena, my friends. I hope you guys come out next time. Watch the show. Be entertained. See what you're missing out on. You missed out on a hell of a show. We had a couple issues with the microphone. that evening, but you know, those kinds of things happen with independent wrestling shows. You know, we're not millionaires. We can't afford a $500 million DJ system, but that's okay. A couple little problems with the microphone isn't going to hurt the whole show. Because them guys went out there and they killed themselves for you guys. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into the episode here. NXT. October 23rd edition. We opened up with Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. This match seemed to have a nice classic style of pace to it, as well as the maneuvers used in the match. Just the moves, the pace, everything seemed very classic to me. Bianca is someone whose athleticism always impresses me. Ripley hit a really cool senton off the apron here. And then, of course, Ripley was attacked in the match by Io Shirai behind the ref's back. She hit a running kick off the apron there, like a 619 off the apron type of thing. While the ref had his back turned, of course. But she got back in the ring and still kicked out at 2 after a pin attempt by Belair. Ripley then hits her finisher Riptide for the win in this match, and goes on to the final picture. Is she going to face Shayna Baszler, or is that going to be Tegan Nox, or is that going to be somebody else, you know? Is it going to be Io Shirai? Are we going to see a triple threat match? Tegan Nox, Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley. And then, or are we going to see a title match triple threat? Who knows at this point? We got a hell of a women's match. We got a hell of a women's roster right here. I love what NXT is doing with the women. And then, of course, you know, recently signed Shotzi Blackheart. Where does she fall into this? Where's Deonna Purrazzo fall into all of this? With her friend Kat? I don't know. Like I said, this is a very, very interesting and exciting time to be a wrestling fan in general here. Of course, this week I won't be talking about NXT because we were so busy with the Liberty Rising that I just didn't want to throw 3-4 shows on here. But I do want to tell you that I do have notes coming for GCW No Sleep. I have that about halfway done. I'm going to be covering, this month will be GCW No Sleep, and then early on next month I will cover Jimmy Lloyd's Halloween Bash, the GCW show revolving around Halloween and Jimmy Lloyd. So keep an eye out for that too. I'll do those on a separate show. They won't be a Duke's Dive. They'll just be a separate review. I also want to do the Joker, and I would also like to review the trilogy of House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. So that's kind of what I got going on here, as well as November 2nd we'll be heading up to not only Eclipse, but Slobberknocker Pro Wrestling Events is having a very, very special event for the Special Olympics. They've done this before. They've raised good money. They've had a good show. We'll probably be up there. We'll probably be doing a double shot that day. So with that coming, we got November 2nd scheduled, and then the 8th and the 9th, I'm not so sure. That might be an off weekend for us. Time to relax, time to, sleep in a little bit. And then the next week, I will be on Friday the 15th up at True Wrestling, the True Mill. And of course, one match has already been announced, a fantastic bout between Clay Drasher and the Whisper for the Big Gun Championship. That right there is worth your ticket price alone, people. Come on now. Get out there and see Clay Drasher and the Whisper battle heads for the Big Gun Championship. Then, of course, the next day will be at PCWA in Mount Carmel for the GI Bear Birthday Bash. And the following week after that, Saturday, November 23rd, Icons Collectors event down there in Philadelphia. You don't want to miss it. AEW star Darby Allin just announced. as well as Jordynne Grace is going to be there, Priscilla Kelly, Gene Snitsky, Manny Rodriguez, H.C. Loke. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic meets current wrestling event. It's going to be just a meet and greet type of thing. No professional wrestling that night, but I think that night will also be a match from House of Hardcore. So a lot of those guys might be there. So you got a lot of stuff going on that day with the Icons Collection event, and then that following night will be House of Hardcore. Then, of course, that next day we pick up where we left off from Williamsport with Northern Tier Wrestling, and we have the Sayre, Pennsylvania event. Sayre, New York, Sayre, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm not exactly sure which one. I'm thinking it's Sayre, Pennsylvania. But either way, we have a great event coming up on that day. The November 24th date, Northern Tier Wrestling is back up in Sayre. We're starting where we left off here in Williamsport and going from there. We got Dewey Murray versus H.C. Loke for the title. Just a lot of good stuff going on that day. Check their Facebook page out. They have a lot of matches announced, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to move on in my review of NXT. Sorry I got distracted here, but at this point in the show, we had an interview backstage with Pete Dunne where he says he doesn't care at all about Killian Dane or his fingers or whatever. He didn't really like the fact that he was being interviewed. Move on to the next match on the card. We have Matt Riddle versus Cameron Grimes. I think this is a personal favorite of mine. I couldn't pick a favorite out of this week, but this is a good one. Riddle starts the match by taking the fight directly to Cameron Grimes, which is a change of pace for how a Cameron Grimes match usually goes. Cameron Grimes was very good at breaking out of the holds that Riddle tried to put him in. Riddle has a fantastic set of striking attacks that always impress me. Riddle, always the controversial combat artist, manages to hit a beautiful jackhammer that I like to personally call the bro hammer. Then after Riddle hit that bro hammer, the crowd broke out into a Riddle, Goldberg-esque chant. Riddle wins the match, but the highlight was a fight that had broken out at ringside between Cameron Grimes and Tyler Bate, who was in the crowd of NXT, and of course Tyler Bate just straight up knocked old Cameron Grimes out when he was over there running his chompers. So we move on to the next match, which was Breezango and Isaiah Swerve Scott versus the Forgotten Sons. Breezango had, of course, a really awesome Top Gun style entrance. The commentators even got into it. They were calling the match with some heavy references to Top Gun. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. It didn't seem to me like Breezango got the offense in that they had last match. It kind of seemed like they were sent out to do a job here today on this show. Because it seemed like Tyler Breeze took most of the beating in the match. The match was a strong showing by the Forgotten Sons. Like I said, Tyler Breeze took most of the beating in the match, and then Swerve also looked good, but the standout to me was Riker from the Forgotten Sons, who Swerve did a moonsault off of. Isaiah Swerve Scott picks up a win with a move that to me looked like a Shining Wizard, but he kind of hit him right on the back of the neck with his boot. Kind of like a Shining Wizard with direct heel to neck action there. It was a different than I've ever really seen. Then next up we had a promo from Killian Dane talking about how Pete Dunne broke his fingers and how he's going to break him. The next match on the card was Angel Garza versus Jack Gallagher. This match was really good. Had a really neat rolling maneuver sequence that I liked between the two. Gallagher pulled off a super stalling suplex in this match, but it still wasn't enough to put it away because he got put away with a K-Prana moonsault from Garza. Angel Garza, one of those guys that really impresses me. I thought I seen him on MLW before. Maybe I'm wrong. I know Ariel Dominguez, he's injured. He's got 3 herniated discs in the spine, some bad discs in the back. As well as La Parca, recently injured himself on a suicide dive on the outside of the ring. So, both of those guys, I hope you heal up soon. I hope you get well. And just yesterday, a man that I had not been able to see personally in the ring, which kind of bums me out. Project Brewington, Thomas Brewington, has announced that he is officially retired, and he had put his podcasts on hiatus and such like that. Excuse me 1 second here. Excuse me, I'm back. Well, like I said, he put his podcasts and different things like that on hiatus. Trust the Project, I actually liked listening to that. As somebody who's not in the business yet and not currently training, I really like to listen to Trust the Project to get a general sense of what's going on in the wrestling world and basically where you need to be, and just hearing from these people who have gone through the indies for many years, and they know this is their story on their experience and stuff like that. And I like a lot of, like, Jake Parnell does a series on his channel, on his Facebook, where he discusses his pet peeves in the ring or different things that individuals in the ring can do better to better themselves in their craft. Like I said, I've always liked Thomas, Mr. Brewington, and Jake Parnell, but like I said, now Mr. Brewington has retired. He's going on to do different things with baseball in his area. Very awesome stuff there, as well as Jump Boost Gaming and different endeavors like that. Like I said, I'm sorry and sad that I never got to see him personally wrestle, but this is a taxing sport, ladies and gentlemen. The tax man gotta come eventually. He had some nagging issues and some nagging injuries that just been putting off for a long time, and at this point in time, he felt like it was his time to finish her up. And like I said, I wish that man nothing but the best in his new endeavors. In professional wrestling, you don't really, I don't know, I guess some people do, but I guess nobody really retires for good. I don't know if we'll ever see him back. I personally hope we will, but as far as right now, it's an indefinite hiatus for Mr. Thomas Brewington, and like I said, much respect and admiration to that guy. But we'll move on to the next match here. Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai versus Marina and Jessamine. Of course, Marina and Jessamine are Baszler's girls. This is the first time I've seen these two in action. Pretty quick match here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I have a note here. They call Tegan Nox the Welsh Wonder. Quick pace match as Tegan wins with the shiniest wizard. When Marina and Jessamine try to cause distraction with the referee, but in that confusion, it only confused them because Tegan Nox was able to hit the shiniest wizard for the win there, and it moves those guys up too. Either it's either going to be them in a singles match, either they're going to break out and say, "Now I went into that picture, the title picture," or next week here, Wednesday, October 30th here, we got the Kabuki Warriors making their way back to NXT to defend the women's tag team titles. Could we see Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai challenge for them? I don't know. That moves us on to the main event of the evening. Of course, this is Roderick Strong versus Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic for the North American title. Of course, Velveteen Dream was injured by the Undisputed Era, couldn't defend, couldn't be in this match, so it was a match between these guys. Roderick, for the most part, seemed to be in the way of Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic colliding. Of course, this match was a no disqualification. Dijakovic looked huge in this match. Keith Lee went to hit a cannonball off of the apron. Dijakovic catches him. Then Roderick comes out with a baseball slide and hits both of those guys. It was nuts. Lee hits the Tower of Doom Spirit Bomb. Dijakovic destroys Strong with a Feast Your Eyes on the outside. Then Keith Lee pounces him on the outside. They go back in the ring. Dijakovic hits an avalanche choke bomb on Lee. Keith Lee pulls off a stupendous Tope Con Hero, taking out both Strong and Dijakovic on the outside. To end this match, though, Lee hits a Spirit Bomb on Dijakovic, but is immediately hit by a running knee from Strong, who picks up the win. Retains his title, but here is the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Tommaso Ciampa comes out, who's quickly followed by Johnny Gargano. So, you got Undisputed Era now facing off against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano in the ring. But who comes out? The Prince. Finn Balor comes out. Now it's Undisputed Era, and they're facing off in the ring against Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Finn Balor. But what's this? Bam! Pele kick to the head of Johnny Gargano. Finn Balor takes him out. And after that, Undisputed Era take control, and they take out Tommaso Ciampa while Finn Balor just kind of stands back and watches. Then Balor and Gargano make their way out to the ramp where, make out to the ramp where Finn Balor hits an elevated 1916. I guess Gargano is still not cleared to compete after this move. Went to see the medical professionals after the 1916. Then he does the double gun salute to him, a nod back to Prince Devitt from NXT, New Japan Pro. Prince Devitt, the shooter, the rock and roller, back on NXT. Like I said, he does the gun salute to Johnny Gargano while everybody else, the Undisputed Era, are in the ring with their little hand gesture. And Finn's at the top of the ramp, and he's just basically looking at him. There's a lot of people who speculate that, he's going to join the Undisputed Era. I don't believe that, not in a million years. Finn Balor's future is his past. His past has absolutely nothing to do with Undisputed Era. If anything, the OC is going to come to NXT, in my estimation. Anyways, like I said, AJ Styles already, making comments on this. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson making comment on this. We got War Games coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you think that Mr. Balor could bring in some friends? Hey, maybe Undisputed Era have to work together with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Could you believe that? Maybe Finn bringing in the OC to, take back NXT will be a driving force enough to make this makeshift NXT, Team NXT, if you will. You got the Undisputed Era with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So you would have Kyle O'Reilly, the other guy, I always forget his name, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. That's 6 versus Finn Balor, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, AJ Styles. Well, that's 4. I don't know if that'll work, or you have to have somebody. Or maybe it'll be a 3-man. Maybe it'll be a 3. Maybe Gargano and Ciampa are going to have to find some people that are going to be on their side against the OC and Undisputed Era. I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited to see it happen. Like I said this week, I didn't want to bombard you with 2 shows, but next week I'll cover AEW, I suppose, because I heard that Rick and Morty are going to be on the show, so I think that's pissing a lot of people off enough to make the old Duke get on there next week and see just how good it is. Because, of course, I like Rick and Morty, and I do like AEW for the most part, but I'll get on there next week, and next week we'll have NXT and AEW together again. Reunited, it feels so good. So, that covers my opinions of the week, my dive into wrestling for the week. This has been the Duke of Disputation. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you next week. Thank you and goodbye.